crying for no reason, suddenly emotional about that breakup that happened years ago. During perimenopause and menopause, emotional control can feel like it's slipping, and this can lead to unexpected and sometimes overwhelming emotional symptoms. So let's talk about hormonal reasons behind these emotional shifts and what you can do to support yourself during this time. So number one, crying all the time. This can be watching a film, hearing a song on the radio, or something simple like just dropping your keys when you're in a rush and your brain is going, what's wrong with me? Why am I crying like this? So what's actually happening? Estrogen's role helps to regulate brain chemistry, and that's things like serotonin and dopamine. And these neurotransmitters affect mood, emotional balance, and the ability to cope with stress. So as estrogen fluctuates and drops during the perimenopause and menopause, these feel-good chemicals become more unpredictable. And even though there isn't anything major going on, you can be just sort of emotionally off, and small triggers like dropping keys when you're in a rush can create a big emotional response. It might be too that you're crying out of nowhere. You're in the middle of shopping, driving to work, even at work, you have this sudden urge that you just need to cry. It can be just feeling totally emotionally overwhelmed, like the whole world is on top of you. And I know for me, the things that often used to happen in this situation, because crying was a big one for me, is that I just felt that the world was going to end, and it was such a feeling of just overwhelming absolutely everything. Um, and you may also find that it's much more difficult to bounce back from any kind of emotional stress. So one of the stories that I heard from a lady was that she was in the supermarket doing her weekly shop. Her favourite yogurt was out of stock, and she just burst into tears, and she couldn't understand why something as simple as out of stock yogurt had created this response in her. But it wasn't about the yogurt, it was about the fact that that moment she was tapping into deeper emotional issues, just sort of exhaustion, frustration, and emotional, just being over emotional and emotionally overwhelmed. And all of that put together, the yogurt was just literally the end of the trigger. So if this is happening to you, you are not weak, you're not going out of your mind, you're not going mad, even if other people tell you that you are. This is a real physical response to the hormonal changes that are going on. It's such a common one, and I think just about everybody that I've spoken to at some time or other, even if it's just a little phase, will experience this kind of scenario. Number two is resurfacing of old emotional wounds. This can be so unexpected, it can be disturbing, um, it can be emotional pain that you suffered years ago. It could be something you just emotionally buried. It could even be something you forgot about. Um, but it can be maybe unresolved childhood issues. It could be grief. You thought you'd maybe dealt and processed something, and suddenly it all comes back. I liken it a bit like Pandora's box. We do have an area of the brain where we can put memories in and lock the key, and that's them well out of the way. And again, when estrogen is starting to fall, that key turns the wrong way and opens up everything up. And you just may find that again, you're out and about somewhere, and something from way back that caused you pain of some kind just comes galloping right to the front of your brain. So what's going on here? So when your hormones, again, when you're, especially estrogen, starts to drop, it's not only your mood that changes, but your emotional resilience and your emotional buffer. So even if these thoughts popped up years ago, you could quite easily just pop them back in the box. Whereas now they're floating about your brain, they're popping up at the most unexpected moments. And you can't brush them aside once they rise to the surface. You might find as well that you're really getting vivid dreams or even nightmares too. You know, sometimes if you're worried about something in the present day, that can turn into a nightmare at night. It can be sort of deep emotional triggers from a minor event. Again, you can be watching a film that ends up bringing back so many bad memories for you. It could also be a lingering sadness. And again, you know, for me with the crying, it just this feeling of just despair and hopelessness. Very, very strange. And it is very hard to explain, especially to other people and even to yourself. Again, you're wondering whether, you know, you're going mad, but you're not. It's just totally, totally explainable. So, how can you help yourself in this instance? Talking about it is so, so helpful because it can put everything into perspective. And sometimes just voicing how you feel is enough to put it in its proper place. So, you can look about talking therapy, it could be talking over with a friend, or if you have a support group, or even start a little menopause support group up yourself. If it's the crying issue, one of the things that I found really helped me when I could do it was to shut myself away in my bedroom and have a really good cry and get into the dramatics of it. And I found if I really let everything go, I just felt so much better afterwards. You might find journaling helpful. Write everything down. And again, it's about putting things into perspective. What some people do that might be helpful for you, especially when it involves someone else, maybe that breakup, or maybe someone who's passed away and you're still grieving deeply, is to write a letter to that person. Obviously, you don't post it, you can just burn it at the end of the day, but you have made some kind of emotional contact to voice how you actually feel. It's about resting more. Remember, all these hormonal changes are really draining you of energy. They're putting so much pressure on your nervous system. It's no wonder that your nervous resilience tends to get weak at that point. Um, Normalize it. And I mean, that's what I tried to do, was just remind yourself, I'm not going mad. This is perfectly normal. There is a real physiological reason for it. It's the way my hormones are changing. It will pass and I will feel better at the end of it. Um, Self-care as well, really important. Give your body everything it needs to keep itself strong. So you're looking at good diet, plenty of water as usual. Even minor dehydration can have a huge impact on your emotional stability. Look at magnesium. It's really lovely for calming your emotions and calming any kind of stress and anxiety. Because of the importance of magnesium, that's one of the reasons we have it in our menopause support, which can be taken in the perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. So hopefully this one has been helpful for you. So many women I talk to, this is a big issue. So if you've experienced this, what exactly did you experience? How did you resolve it? What did you do to help yourself? Please share your stories. I love to read them, and sharing your story may help many other women out there too. Have a lovely week, and I'll see you soon.